Hello and welcome to Jim Patterson Stadium for the Michigan Wolverines versus the Louisville Cardinals. This is WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki on the call. This is Michigan's second game of this regional round of the NCAA tournament. Michigan notably won their way into the NCAA tournament with a Big Ten tournament victory and then dispatched Bradley 10-5 yesterday. Dalton, what stood out to you from that Michigan victory last night?
What stood out to me from last night's victory was the hitting of the Michigan Wolverines, particularly in the bottom third of the order. They were really able to get the job done while the top and middle of the lineup wasn't as productive. So it's nice to see a team that's hitting well, and a great performance out of Matt Ogden, who wasn't in the weekend rotation but answered the call when it was his turn.
Yeah, especially impressive performances, as you mentioned, from that bottom third of the order. And now Michigan has a whole different animal on its hands here. They are facing Louisville, the number 3 overall national seed, getting to host their own regional and then host perhaps even a super regional if they are able to advance. They have reached the College World Series the past 2 years, 2013 and 2014, and had a heck of a year in their first season in the ACC. They won the regular season ACC title. They weren't able to follow that up with an ACC tournament title, so they have cooled off just a little bit, but still a very good team. And we're seeing an excellent starter that's going to be on the mound for Louisville. That's going to be in the form of Brendan McKay, the freshman sensation. What can you tell us about McKay here?
Well, as many people know, their ace Funkhouse went yesterday, so people may be thinking, okay, Michigan has Brett Adcock, their ace, going against their number 2 guy, but Brendan McKay, he's for real. He's not a joke. This season, as a freshman, he finished 8-3 with 4 saves, a 1.76 ERA, 103 strikeouts, and 82 innings pitched. And not only can he do it on the mound, he can get it done at the plate too. He is hitting .319 with 3 home runs, 31 RBIs, 30 runs scored, and 35 walks, and 52 starts as a hitter. This kid, he can play.
And we'll see him, but in an odd twist here, Michigan is actually the home team here. Even though we're playing at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, Michigan's the home team just by virtue of how the bracket sets up, as the winner of the 2-3 game is the home team against the winner of the 1-4 game. And we saw this kind of go against Michigan's way in terms of softball. We saw Michigan when they hosted the regional round and the super regional round of the softball NCAA tournament. They was kind of surprised that there was games where they were the away team at Alumni Field, but this is a similar situation for Louisville hosting a regional in their own ballpark, but they're the away team. So they're going to bat first against Brett Adcock, and Adcock's been an absolute tear recently. He's going for his 5th win. What are you looking for him out of him today?
Well, real quick, I'd like to wish the Michigan women's softball team congratulations on their 10-4 victory last night. But Brett Adcock, I'd like to see him get his breaking balls working early, because this Louisville team, if they strike first, they are deadly. 21-0 when scoring the first run of the game, and 14-0 when scoring a run in the first inning. So if Brett Adcock can command his pitches the first and second time through the order of this tough Louisville lineup, I think Michigan can set themselves up to maybe have an upset.
Yeah, that's a stunning stat. I know you said it, but I'm gonna repeat it. 21-0 when scoring first. And looking at Louisville's overall record of 44-16, that means they're 23-16. So still a very good baseball team when they don't score first, but when they do score first, virtually unbeatable, or at least so far this season. And that's very impressive, especially in playing in a top baseball conference like the ACC. And as you mentioned, playing a number of NCAA caliber opponents. They really faced well off in their non-conference season and their conference season. Just really performed well throughout the year. But Michigan's going to need an early start if they want to try and pull an upset here.
Exactly. They got to get the bats rolling against the tough pitcher in McKay. And moments away from first pitch, we just another beautiful day in Louisville, Kentucky. 81 degrees, sun peeking through every now and again. Southbound winds, 15 miles an hour. Here that equates to blowing from right field to left, and sometimes it shifts to blowing straight out to left. So look for another big day out of catcher Kendall Patrick.
Yeah, he came into this NCAA tournament tied for the team lead with Jacob Cromer with 6 home runs, then launched 2 yesterday, both to left field. The first one in the second inning was a line drive out to left field, and then the second one was in the 9th. Really put the icing on the cake for the Wolverines. That one was a no-doubter, knocking Johnny Slater from second. But we're about ready to get underway. As you can hear on the ambient mic, it is loud here at Jim Patterson Stadium. A sellout crowd in attendance. Over 5,000 people. We'll get you the official statistic when we hear that attendance, but quite a few. Here's the first pitch from Brett Adcock. That is a strike on the outside corner to Sutton Whitting, the second baseman for the Cardinals. Travis Mazes at third. He's on the edge of the infield grass looking for a bunt. Adcock delivers. Here's the 0-1. That one misses low and away. He needs the count at 1-1.
Sutton Whitting having a nice season thus far, batting .309 with an on-base percentage of .415 in the leadoff spot and 14 of 20 on steal. So we really want to keep this guy off the base path.
Next pitch, 1-1, misses low and away, 2-1. This crowd is jam-packed with Louisville faithful, a spattering of maize and blue, especially behind the Wolverines' home dugout down the first base line. Here's the 2-1 delivery from Adcock. That's fouled off down the first base line, and that'll get out of play. A little bit short of the Wolverines' bullpen down that first base line. That evens the count at 2-2 on Sutton Whitting.
I'd like to see Johnny Slater out there and right take a few more steps to that ball, because we saw a few balls yesterday that we thought were going foul that the wind pushed back into fair. Adcock ready. Here's the 2-2 delivery. That one's a little chopper right to Jake Bivens at shortstop. He will make the catch on the soft line drive off the bat of Sutton Whitting. That's the first out here at the top of the first. Nice to see Jake Bivens make a good play in the field after a few early miscues by the Michigan defense in the first inning last game. So it's nice to see them come out focused, prepared, and ready to give this nationally ranked Louisville team a run for their money today. Now somebody to the plate, the left fielder Nick Solak, batting .325 on the year. And so it does have some extra base power, 15 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. First pitch from Adcock is a strike. He's been commanding low in the zone early so far. No score here from Jim Patterson Stadium. We're in the early going. 1 out in the top of the first. Here's the 0-1 delivery from Adcock. That one's fouled off right into the screen. It looked like it was headed right towards us, but the screen stopped its progress, and that'll be strike number 2. Would have liked the souvenir today, Andrew. Yeah, unfortunately, when we were watching the Morehead State Bradley game earlier, we had been sitting in the sun, and then we moved into the shade, and then a few moments later, there's a foul ball right to where we were sitting, but no souvenir for us. And the 0-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Brett Adcock gets a strikeout of Nick Solak for the second out of the first inning. So Adcock has been on a strikeout tear of late, and there's strikeout number 1. 7 strikeouts against Oklahoma State, 6 strikeouts against Indiana in the Big Ten tournament opener, and 4 against Maryland. He's already got 1 today. That was strikeout looking, and we saw that from the Wolverines yesterday. Matt Ogden, 7 strikeouts, 6 of them looking. Not exactly the same thing here from a very good Louisville team, but we'll see what happens. Corey Ray now batting. He swings and misses. Nice breaking ball there from Brett Adcock. Induces a wild cut. Adcock working fairly quickly here in the top of the first. Shrugs his shoulders, squats his knees, now delivers. Check swing. Did he go around? He did indeed. That's third base umpire Ryan Moorhead that goes up with the call there, and quickly 0-2 on Corey Ray. The lefty Adcock against the lefty Ray. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air to left field. Kevin White is tracking it. Still drifting to his right, and he will make the catch. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Brett Adcock in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. No score here from Jim Patterson Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki. What a great job by Adcock there to go through the top of that lineup of Louisville. And really, he's really got to focus on keeping Corey Ray off the base path. Behind his .322 batting average, he was 33 for 42 on stolen bases. This kid can pick him up and put him down with the best of them in the NCAA. And now the Wolverines will get a chance to bat. They're going to face off against Brendan McKay. We already raved about him in the pregame show. He is the real deal as a freshman,
And as you also mentioned in the pregame show, it is important for the Wolverines to get ahead early. If they can get an early run, it definitely increases their chance of getting the upset. You don't want to allow Louisville to score first when they're undefeated so far in the year, 21-0. What can the Wolverines do? Cronworth, Bivens, Glines, 3 lefties do up here at the top of the order. What could they do against the lefty McKay to try and have some success?
Michigan Wolverines, to have success, have to just stick to their game plan and just keep hitting. We saw them do it against Bradley yesterday. You just want to get runners on the base path, frustrate the pitchers a little bit, keep them focused, not so much on the batter as much as the guys running around. So if Michigan can get an early jump on the freshman phenom McKay here, that would go a long way towards their efforts of winning.
Yeah, McKay, just absolutely amazing. He's a Golden Spikes Award semifinalist, the ACC Freshman of the Year, all ACC first team as a starting pitcher, then all ACC second team as a utility player, as he also gets it done from both sides of the ball. And as he was the Freshman of the Year, he's on the all freshman team and was the pitcher of the week back on May 11th. That was coming off some impressive performances against Clemson and Florida State. He did face off against Florida State his last time out. That was in the ACC tournament. Didn't have his best outing. Went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned, 3 strikeouts against 1 walk. And the Cardinals actually fell in. So kind of surprising that the regular season champion could not get it done. They beat North Carolina in the opener, but then fell to Clemson and Florida State. But they bounced right back with an impressive victory last night against Morehead State. And they're trying to keep the winning going here against Michigan. Jacob Cronworth digging into the lefty batter's box to face the lefty McKay. Here's the first pitch. There's a strike. Deals a fastball in there on the outside corner. That's an easy 90 miles an hour. He doesn't look like he's straightening at all, but pops in at 90 miles an hour on the gun. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Scoots away from catcher Fitch, but no harm done with nobody on base. 1-1 the count.
Like you were saying, Andrew, McKay has a very fluid, easy delivery, which can be deceiving to batters.
McKay taking his time. Now delivers 1-1. That one's a chop swing. And then over to Lucas at third. He will field it, throw over to first base. Rosenbaum catches it, and they get Cronenworth by 2.5 steps. Didn't look like Cronenworth wanted to swing on that one. A check swing, chop over to third base. Easy play for Lucas. That's 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Jake Bivens will dig in for the Wolverines. Second of 4 straight lefties start this lineup. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. Did draw a walk and had an RBI with a sacrifice fly. He swings on the first pitch and fouls it to the left into the screen. 0-1.
These Cardinals look very comfortable playing at home as they have hosted a regional in 2009, 2010, 2013, 2014, and 2015.
McKay delivers. The 0-1 pitch is high.
And that has to give an advantage to Louisville here because they just know how the field plays. I'm sure it's a turf field, so you're going to get all the Sunday hops you can, but just knowing the little ins and outs of the field will go a long way for the infielders here.
Yeah, 25-6 on the year. Very dominant record at home. Next pitch is foul off into the screen as well. Count goes to 1-2. It's just such an easy 90 miles an hour. I've seen this from pro pitchers, but never from a college pitcher.
Let alone a freshman.
Indeed. And as you mentioned, though it's turf field here at Jim Patterson Stadium, but the Wolverines are used to that at Ray Fisher, also an all-turf field. 1-2 pitch, lifted in the air to left field. Solak is tracking it. He's coming in, takes a few steps, and makes the catch for the second out of the bottom of the first inning. Still no score from Jim Patterson Stadium. That brings up Jackson Glines. Glines didn't have the most productive day at the plate yesterday, 0 for 5, but did have heck of a play in the outfield. It looked like Bradley was trying to get right back into the game, but he dove onto the warning track in the deepest part of the ballpark to absolutely take away extra bases. And that was a highlight play for Jackson Glines. Unfortunately, we were watching SportsCenter. It didn't make the top 10 yesterday, but it was still a amazing play out there in center field. He takes a strike, 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Okay, ready. Now delivers. That one misses low. Draw some groans from the Louisville faithful here. Just about every seat in the house is full.
Glines yesterday, he couldn't get it done at the plate, but he definitely helped the Wolverines out in the field. And when you're not hitting the ball well, that's what you have to do.
Next pitch is ripped to right field. Going back is Ray, and he will make the catch. That one looked good off the bat, but I think it got knocked down by the wind a little bit. And it's nothing more than a long fly out, a couple steps in front of the warning track. That's out number 3 of the first. We head to the top of the second. No score from Jim Patterson Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage on Michigan Baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki on the call.
Jackson Glines, even though he was 0 for 5 yesterday, we saw him put some charges into some balls, especially in his first and second appearance at the plate where he put him to deep center field, the deepest part of this field. Once again, the field is 330 at the corners, 402 dead center, but the walls are a little bit funky.
Yeah, there's some weird angles here to play in the outfield, and it hasn't really come into play for the Wolverines yet. They are used to some weird angles, too, at Ray Fisher Stadium, and also I think the biggest adjustment will be Kevin White out in left field. The Wolverines are used to a much shorter distance out in left field. They have that brown monster at Ray Fisher Stadium, the 28-foot or so high wall out there in left field, and it's a much shorter distance as a result because you have to clear the wall if you want a home run to left field. And it's only about 310 down the line, the left field line, still about 330 down the right field line as it is here, and about 400 to straight away, but more territory to patrol in left field for Kevin White. And it's also interesting as Kevin White played a lot of his time in right field this year, as Cody Bruder would mainly play in left field, but a switch up in the lineup here is Johnny Slater's heat up his bat, so he comes into right field where he and Kevin White have been splitting time. Cody Bruder slides into that DH role now that Travis Mace is healthy enough to play at third base. So Kevin White has been fine out there in the left field so far, but we'll see if that plays a factor. The wind is blowing in his direction. It's right to left. It's died down a little bit from when the game started, but expect it to be a factor all game long. Clouds have covered the field here at Jim Patterson Stadium. It was a beautiful sunny day just moments ago, and we expect it to go in and out of cloudiness here. Aren't expecting too much rain.
I'm sure the fans in the stands are happy that sun died down.
Yeah, it's hot out there. We were sitting there for the Moorhead State Bradley game. It gets real toasty. First pitch to McKay. Pitcher versus pitcher here. Lefty versus lefty. He takes it low, 1-0. McKay, as we mentioned, batting .314 on the year, slugging .435. Waiting for the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. That's ripped to right field. Slater is running over it, and he'll fumble it to the wall. McKay's cruising to second. This throw from Slater is into Cronenworth, but a stand-up double for Brendan McKay. Looked like he was only going to get a single, but Slater perhaps tried to make the throw in before he even had the ball in his glove. And they'll rule that an error on Michigan, so a single for McKay, and then he moves up to second on the error by Johnny Slater. And the Louisville Cardinals are in business here in the top of the second.
McKay just showing us again that he's not just a pitcher. He can get it done at the plate. I mean, he's batting fourth for the third-ranked team in the nation. This kid is just sensational ball player.
Now coming to the plate, Zach Lucas, who will get the signs from his third base coach.
Speaking of being ranked third, the Louisville Cardinals have been ranked in a major NCAA baseball poll every week since 2012. 3 straight years of dominance for the Louisville Cardinals.
Breaking ball strike there to Zach Lucas. 242, batting .242 on the year, but does have good power in his bat. He's at third base today for the Cardinals, and really getting cloudy here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The wind picking up again, probably the hardest we've seen it blowing all day, and some perhaps ominous rain clouds coming into the pitcher here. A attempted bunt goes well foul by Zach Lucas, and it's quickly 0-2.
Zach Lucas, he may have saw the corners playing deep and attempted a bunt there. He has some speed. Only caught 3 times stealing on 20 attempts this year. This Louisville team can run if they get on the base paths.
McKay on second base with nobody out. We're in the top of the second. Michigan 0, Louisville 0. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That almost hits him. Gets out of the way of a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Adcock not holding anything back here. He knows he's in a tough situation against one of the best teams in the country. And wind is picked up and is blowing almost straight out to left field. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big swinging strikeout there of Zach Lucas. First out in the top of the second. Danny Rosenbaum will step to the plate for the Cardinals.
It's huge for Brett Adcock to make quick work of the top four of this Louisville lineup, because once you look at 5 through 9, they're all batting sub 250 with the exception of Colby Fitch, who is batting 282.
Rosenbaum, the junior first baseman, started about half the Louisville Cardinals games. He calls time here. That's signaled by home plate umpire Greg Charles. Billy Hayes at first base. Danny Mascaro, the home plate umpire in Michigan's victory yesterday, is at second, and Ryan Moorhead's at third. Adcock comes set, checks the runner McKay. Now comes home. First pitch is a strike. Got a changeup in there on the outside corner. 0-1 to Rosenbaum.
This wind is significantly picked up, Andrew. It was steady at about 15 miles an hour. I'd guess now it's around 25, blowing out to left, maybe slightly right to left towards the foul pole.
Adcock comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's well high. Another 92-mile-an-hour fastball misses up. Evens the count at 1-1 on Danny Rosenbaum. McKay singled, then advanced to second on the fielding error by Johnny Slater before Adcock got a strikeout swinging of Lucas just moments ago. Now we see time called again. Adcock not pleased with Danny Rosenbaum. He's done that twice already this at bat. There's only been 2 pitches. And right as Adcock was ready to throw, Rosenbaum's called time. Perhaps a little bit of gamesmanship here, trying to get in the head of Brett Adcock. We'll see if it works. Adcock checks McKay. Now delivers 1-1. Breaking ball just a little bit too high for Charles's liking, and it's 2-1.
Danny Rosenbaum, like you said, may be trying to get that mental edge on Brett Adcock, considering he's only batting 186 this season in 114 plate appearances with runners in scoring position.
Waiting for the 2-1 pitch. Adcock checks the runner twice. Now comes home. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Just a little bit lower than the last one he threw. That was not a call that the Louisville faithful agreed with, but nonetheless, it'll level the count at 2-2. And we're going to have a weather delay here, as there's a report of lightning in the area, and that is NCAA ruling that when there's lightning in the area, you have to call this game off. It will be postponed. The fans are going to be instructed to exit the stadium and seek shelter at the time. We'll stay with you for a little bit, give you a summary of what's happened so far, and then we're going to keep this broadcast live and just go to mute, and then follow us on Twitter. We'll give you updates. That's at WCBN Sports. We'll update you as soon as we're back live. So the weather moved in quickly here. We haven't seen any raindrops here, haven't seen any lightning, but I guess there was reports, and there's people up here in the press box keeping an eye on these sort of things. So
it could even be a tornado warning, Andrew, because the way the wind is picked up and the weather has just significantly dropped from that 82-degree weather at first pitch. So definitely the right move by the officials here at the Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, to putting safety over everything else.
Yeah, when we looked at the weather before this game, we didn't expect the storms to really roll into about 8-9 p.m., but I guess they're getting here early, or something popping up. This can happen on warm summer days, just thunderstorms coming in the late afternoon. So just to give a quick recap, Adcock got a 1-2-3 inning of the Louisville Cardinals, and the Wolverines went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first, and we're now in the top of the second. There's one out. McKay had a leadoff single and advanced to second on a fielding error by Johnny Slater, then a strikeout of Lucas. Got the first out, and it's currently in the middle of the at-bat from Adcock to Rosenbaum. And so the game is delayed. They're going to cover up the mound. That's the only dirt part of this stadium, much like it is at Ray Fisher Stadium. The turf should be fine, so there shouldn't be any issues with the playing field, as even if it does rain heavily, there won't be any issues. But we're going to take a break here. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Once again, you can follow us on Twitter at WCBN Sports, and we'll keep you updated there to let you know when this game is going to resume. That's all for now. Be sure to tune in later once this game picks up. Hello and welcome back to Jim Patterson Stadium. We are just about ready to get play back underway. We're in the top of the second inning. There's currently no score here at Jim Patterson Stadium. It's top of the second. The Louisville Cardinals are going to be batting when we resume play. They'll be just about 7 minutes from now at 5:15 p.m. So a short weather delay, and we're about ready to get back underway. Currently the count is 2-2 with one out to Danny Rosenbaum. We expect Brad Adcock to remain on the mound for the Wolverines, only through 17 pitches so far, and was staying warm during that weather delay. So we expect to see him return to the mound, and we expect to see Brendan McKay return to the mound for the Louisville Cardinals. What can the Wolverines do to be successful coming out of this break? I know you being a former pitcher yourself, Dalton, what do you do when some of your starts were interrupted either by your offense exploding and having a long inning and then you be sitting on the bench for 45 minutes, or something here where you're sitting for 45 minutes and not getting to throw any pitches?
Well, what the Michigan batters have to do is they have to really capitalize in the second inning, work up the pitch count of Brendan McKay, because during that delay and warming up to pitch again, he probably threw around another 50 pitches. So if they can get after him and chase him out early, that'll get to the bullpen, which
it's not always a good thing with the Louisville Cardinals.
No, the Louisville Cardinal bullpen has been outstanding this year. But it would just be nice to get the freshman phenom McKay out of there. As I was saying, the Louisville bullpen through 59 games in the regular season had a combined 1.69 ERA with a 21-0 record, 216 strikeouts to 90 walks in 207 innings. And opposing hitters are batting only $165. So even if you are to chase McKay out of this game, you still face a tough Louisville bullpen, but it'd be a lot easier to cross one bridge instead of two.
And we see players from both sides still getting warmed up in front of their respective dugouts. Just to paint the scene here, it is back to a beautiful day. It started off right at 4 p.m. as a great day for baseball. And then as we got into the bottom of that first inning, it just moved in quick. It was a small cell centered at the in the airport region, a little bit south of where we are in Louisville, right by where we're staying here in Louisville, and our hotel, that is. And but now it's back to a beautiful day. You can see the storms are moving off into the distance. Play will resume in 5 minutes at 5:15. As we mentioned, Louisville 0, Michigan 0. 2-2 on Danny Rosenbaum, one out in the top of the second. Fans are still retaking their seats. It was a absolutely packed house here. They're trying to dry off their seats here too. It did pour very briefly. We thought it was going to be a rainless rain delay. It was just going to be a weather delay due to the thunderstorms, but it did pour here, and then it's quickly dried out, and it will not really be a factor here as it is a turf field, much like at Ray Fisher Stadium. The only part that is dirt is the pitching mound, and that was covered during the rain delay. So shouldn't be any issues with the field of play. The breeze is going back to where it was at about the start of the day, gusting about 15 miles per hour out to left field. It's blowing a little more from right to left than straight out to left, but not too big of a difference.
Well, yeah, the weather here, it really shouldn't play a big part. Being a part-time meteorologist looking at the weather.com, we're expecting a big rainstorm around 10 p.m., but this game should be well over by then.
Yeah, it really only would be a factor if this game got to extra innings. But once again, we expected that rainstorm to come in the late evening, 8 to 9. We thought this game would be over, but then this one kind of just popped up, a small cell, as can always happen in these warm summer days. It did get up to almost 90 degrees here in Louisville. So a very warm summer day here in Kentucky. The players are stretching out, and Michigan defense is going to trot back onto the field. It will be Brett Adcock indeed on the mound. Michigan in their all-white uniforms here today. They have maize and blue trim both on the arms and down the legs, as well as the block Michigan lettering across the chest in white, outlined by maize and blue. So they're going to retake the field. Adcock will throw a few more warm-up pitches. Louisville in their all gray with black shoulder pads, or at least shoulder highlighting, and then black trim, and they have very interesting touches we noted yesterday as they have a black L on the back of both pants. What do you make of that, Dalton? I've never seen anything like that.
No, I like it. Adds a little bit of flair to the pants. They don't really have the pinstripes down the side, so just gives them a little character, and nothing wrong with that.
So Brett Adcock, how long do you think we can expect him to stay in this game? Obviously, it'll depend on the number of pitches, how well he's doing, but expect maybe a shorter outing from Adcock here after this delay, or can we expect him to go normal 6-7 innings based on the pitch count?
I think it goes – you're going to go off the pitch count, obviously, but I would take away 1 inning for all his warm-up pitches and such. And I'm
just
sure,
staying warm during the weather delay.
I'm sure Coach Bakich did a great job of monitoring his arm and making sure it's warm by putting a sleeve around the shoulder. So Adcock really shouldn't be affected that much, and neither should McKay for the opposing Cardinals. It looks about, I would say 80% of the crowd is back to what it used to be before the rain delay, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, I expect it to fill right back up to where it was, as this is still early on in this game. Lots to play for here, as to update you on the scene here, as Morehead State has been eliminated from this regional. They fell to Louisville yesterday before falling to Bradley today. So they are out. It is down to 3 teams. The loser of this game between Michigan and Louisville will face Bradley tomorrow at noon. That's an elimination game, so the loser of that game goes home. The winner advances to face the winner of this game. That'll be at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then if the winner of this game then loses that game at 4 p.m. tomorrow, and the 2 remaining teams each have 1 loss, there'll be a final deciding game here Monday at 6 p.m. So we'll see if that happens, but still a lot of baseball to be played before that. And we're ready to get back underway. It's 5:15 local time here in Louisville, Kentucky at Jim Patterson Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball. Andrew Hausman and Dalton Pataki on the call. Danny Rosenbaum ready to dig back in with a 2-2 count. This is something you don't see every day. 2-2 count already on the batter stepping back into play. McKay is on second base.
Getting a quick out here for Adcock would be huge, considering the fact that McKay is already on second.
Adcock comes set. The 2-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt. That makes it 3-2. 1 out here in the top of the second. Adcock takes a look in, gets the sign from Kendall Patrick. Still looking in. Now he comes set. Delivers the payoff pitch. He got him looking. Danny Rosenbaum had tossed the bat aside, was ready to head down to first base. But the second strikeout looking for Brett Adcock is also the second out of the second inning. And it will leave it up to Colby Fitch, the catcher for the Cardinals. He'll dig into that lefty batter's box to face the lefty Brett Adcock.
Colby Fitch having a nice season, batting .282 and .346 with runners in scoring position. So if Adcock can dispatch him quickly, that would be a huge advantage for the Michigan Wolverines.
Nice fastball there from Brett Adcock. A strike right at the knees in the inside part of the plate. Checking in at 92 miles an hour on the radar gun. Adcock sets. Checks the runner. Now delivers 0-1. Breaking ball is fouled off down the first baseline. Quickly 0-2 on Colby Fitch. McKay, the runner on second. He singled to start this inning quite a long time ago. Then a fielding error by Johnny Slade, a little bobble out there in right field, allowed McKay to advance to second. But since then, we've seen a strikeout swinging and a strikeout looking. And now here's a strikeout swinging. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Colby Fitch takes a wild cut, strikes out on 3 pitches, and the Wolverines are able to strand McKay at second. So we head to the bottom of the second inning. Wolverines 0, Cardinals 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki on the call.
What a great job by Brett Adcock to, after a long weather delay, come back out and get 2 outs in 5 pitches. Came out just hammering the strike zone and stranded a runner at second. So, and we read the stats about what happens when Louisville scores first. I'm just going to repeat those again. When Louisville scores first, they are we said 21-0. They are 29-0 this season when scoring first. So they also have a great staff, and the Cardinals have only allowed 2 or fewer runs this season in 34 of 59 games. So we know this University of Michigan team can hit, leading the Big Ten in many statistical categories, including doubles and team ERA. So if the Wolverines can put up 4 or 5 runs over the course of this game, and if Brett Adcock can keep making quick work of the lineup in for Louisville.
Yeah, already 4 strikeouts of the 6 outs he's recording. The only thing you don't like about that is strikeouts require a lot of pitches. So Brett Adcock already at 26 pitches through 2 innings, so don't expect him to last too long at that rate, especially perhaps a shortened outing due to this weather delay. But coming up for the Wolverines will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, Benedetti, Bruder, and Mazes, to face Brendan McKay. Brendan McKay had an easy first inning against the Wolverines. He did allow a hard hit ball by Jackson Glines out to right field, but it was knocked down by the wind a little bit. Perhaps could have gone off the wall if it wasn't so windy, but it was just an easy out. Also a ground out from Cronenworth and a fly out from Bivens. Here's Carmen Benedetti, the lefty facing the lefty McKay. First pitch, fastball strike on the outside corner. First one at 89, significantly slower than the 94 we saw in the first inning from McKay. Perhaps still getting warmed up after that weather delay. Winds and delivers. Break ball misses low. Levels the count at 1-1. Wind still blowing very strong here at Jim Pettis Stadium. Blowing more from right field to left field. The 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. Another good breaking ball there from McKay. It's looked sharp so far. Cardinals outfield is fairly deep and straight up all around on the lefty Benedetti. McKay ready, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one is lined right to the first baseman, Rosenbaum. Nice play on a sinking line drive there from Rosenbaum. That's the first out here in the bottom of the second.
Nice hit ball by Benedetti, just a nicer play by the Louisville first baseman, but Benedetti looking to continue his hitting as he was 2 for 4 yesterday, also drawing a walk. So he's looking to keep getting on base, and hopefully the bottom of this lineup can keep producing like they did yesterday against the Bradley Braves.
And now Cody Bruder will step in. Another guy had a good day yesterday, 2 for 4. He'll foul this one down the first baseline well out of play. As I mentioned, 2 for 4 on the day, 3 runs as he scored after both hits and also reached on a walk. So a productive day at the plate for Cody Bruder in a 10-5 victory yesterday. Wasn't even as close as the score indicated. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is a high chop to third base over the head of Lucas, fielded by the shortstop, not in time. What a play that would have been by Hairston, and he will get a rousing ovation from this Louisville crowd despite not making the play. As I mentioned, it was a high chop over the third baseman Lucas's head. Hairston was covering up behind him, was able to field it, and made it a close play. But Bruder does have average to above average speed. Was able to just barely beat it out by about a step to a step and a half.
Yeah, great play by Cody Bruder to just keep hustling it out after seeing a chopper that looked like it was going to get gobbled up by third baseman Lucas.
Yeah, just took a strange hop, got over Lucas's head, but we've seen Hairston make a number of plays. We saw those in the Morehead State Louisville game yesterday, made a couple nice plays, jumping to get to some line drives. He does not have a big frame, but he is a very athletic shortstop. First pitch to Travis Mazes misses outside. 1-0. Here comes the next pitch. That one's chopped right to the second baseman. Diving play, and then he drops the ball. So Whiting made a great diving stop to keep the ball in the infield, but as he tried to pick it up, as he tried to get off the ground and throw over to second base, get the lead runner, Cody Bruder, he just dropped the ball. I believe they'll rule that a single. Infield single is it. Probably could have easily evaded Whiting completely and just gotten into outfield for a hit, and they will call that a single. So the second hit of the day for the Wolverines, and the Wolverines are suddenly in business here against Brendan McKay. McKay's induced 2 ground balls, but they've hit them in the right spots, just eluded the fielders by just enough. to allow Bruder and Mazes to reach. Good speed on the base pass for the Wolverines. Breaking ball misses up to Kevin White.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Andrew.
And we'll see if the Wolverines can take advantage of this. Here, there's one out in the bottom of the second. No score from Jim Patterson Stadium. We're in the NCAA Tournament Baseball Regional. Johnny Slater waiting on deck for the Wolverines. Wolverines start and stop on a double steal. Now we see a check swing by Kevin White. It is a strike nonetheless. He didn't go around, but it found the strike zone. Levels the count at 1-1. One out here in the bottom of the second. Wolverines looking to strike early against the freshman phenom, Brendan McKay. Working more deliberately here with runners on. Checks Bruder at second. Now comes home. Fastball misses inside. That gets some loud jeers here from the Louisville faithful. Looked like it was a little bit off the plate, but the Louisville fans did not agree. Count 2-1 on Kevin White. Kevin White 1 for 5 yesterday. Knocked in a run against the Bradley Braves in that 10-5 victory. Here's a double steal and a throw down to third base. It is not in time. It looked like it beat him. Kevin White swung and missed. A great throw by Colby Fitch down to the third baseman, Lucas, who kind of lost his balance and slipped, and he just couldn't quite apply the tag in time. So double steal by the Wolverines. What do you make of this maneuver?
I liked it. I liked the aggressiveness out of Coach Bakich, and it looked like Lucas tagged the bag where Bruder's hand was already on top. Like you said, the slipping could have been something to do with his positioning.
Big pitch here in this ballgame. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third, only 1 out for the Wolverines. McKay delivers. The 2-2 pitch just kind of chops it, and that one is still in play, but it will go foul. He just kind of stuck his bat out there to try and get a piece of it, stay alive, but almost got himself in trouble there as the runners were standing right on the bags at third and second. They thought that was going to be fouled. So Kevin White, he just was sticking to himself in the right-handed batter's box, but Fitch raced after that one, tried to grab it before it went foul, but it did just barely evade him and go foul, and we'll do it all over again. 2-2 on Kevin White. Big opportunity for the Wolverines to strike first. With Mazes' speed, a single could score 2. McKay comes set. Delivers. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Kevin White goes down looking. Big strikeout for Brendan McKay.
Fooled Kevin White on a breaking ball that was high in the zone and broke down to the middle of the plate and took it looking.
That's not like what you like to see if you're Coach Bakich. You expect your players to at least go up and offer at it. And if you go down swinging, then credit to Brendan McKay, but you at least got to make a cut when you know a ground out or a sacrifice fly can likely score a run and give you the lead. That will leave it up to Johnny Slater. He's got 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. McKay delivers the first pitch. That one's popped foul down the third base line. That'll make its way just over the grandstands. And it's 0-1 on Johnny Slater. What a day yesterday for Johnny Slater. 3 for 4, tied his career high in hits, 2 runs on the day, also an RBI, and played some nice defense out in right field. Doubled in the 9th and was homered home by Kendall Patrick. Really was the grand finale for the Wolverines. Next pitch just misses outside, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. A little bit too far outside for home plate umpire Greg Charles' liking. Levels the count at 1-1 here.
Much tighter strike zone we're seeing today out of Greg Charles.
And we saw it at Danny Mascaro, the second base umpire. He was the home plate umpire yesterday in Michigan versus Bradley game. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, chopped foul. 1-2 on Johnny Slater. Cardinals fans are sensing they are 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam. Johnny Slater looking to do something about it. As you can hear over the ambient mic, lots of clapping here, urging Brendan McKay to get the final out of this second inning. Bruder's on third, Mazes is on second. A single should score 2. And now Johnny Slater will call time and is booed. Kind of a interesting gesture there from the Louisville fans. You don't really see that normally.
Especially at the college level.
Nonetheless, they'll resume their clapping and wait for the 1-2 pitch. McKay delivers to Slater. That one's fouled off down the third baseline. Just kind of stuck his bat out there a la Kevin White to stay alive. Not bad maneuver there.
Great job by Slater. It was probably going to be a called strike, but it wasn't a pitch he could do anything with. Great pitch from McKay, but Johnny Slater just spoiled it, and is now hoping McKay maybe makes a mistake and gives him something he can really get a hold of.
With Mazes' good speed at second base, he should be able to score on any hit to the outfield, especially leaving on contact with 2 outs. More clapping from the Louisville faithful. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt. Pitch makes the tag to record the strikeout, and the Louisville fans are on their feet here at Jim Patterson Stadium. Brendan McKay gets out of a second inning jam. We head to the top of the third. Michigan 0, Louisville 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki on the call. And if you're the Wolverines, you got to be disappointed there. You had a situation where you could do something, perhaps knocking 2 runs off Brendan McKay, but just not able to get the job done.
Well, that's why Brandon McKay came in with a 1.76 ERA into the season. He's not one to give up many big-time hits, and with opponents only batting $165 against him, he just stuck to the norm and got another strikeout, which we've seen he has the ability to get striking out 12 batters in 2 different outings this past season.
Yeah, and perhaps the Wolverines' bottom part of the lineup showing that yesterday was a little more of an aberration than what we can expect usually out of there. I mean, after all, they are in the bottom part of the lineup for a reason. But Kevin White, Johnny Slater, and still to bat is Kendall Patrick. They performed admirably over the latter part of this season as the Wolverines have made a late NCAA tournament push and then won their opening round of the NCAA tournament. Now Brett Adcock will return to the mound for the Wolverines. Due up are the 8-9-1 hitters for the Louisville Cardinals. Devin Hairston, the shortstop, followed by Ryan Summers, the center fielder, and Sutton Whitting, the second baseman.
Devin Hairston, the shortstop, had a nice day yesterday. 4 for 4 with 2 doubles against Morehead State. So if Brett Adcock can limit the production out of the bottom third of the lineup for Louisville, he can really just settle himself in and have a long outing considering the rain delay.
We'll give you a very interesting stat here. You're just able to dig out here in the Road Grays, which is in Louisville's in today. They're 4-1 on the year, so that's all stat listed, and we'll provide that for you. The first pitch is a breaking ball by Adcock to Devin Hairston. They really have just about every stat imaginable ready for us here. Devin Hairston leading off the top of the third against Brett Adcock. Next pitch, swing and a miss. That was a really ugly cut. Fastball just blew right by him. Didn't take a full swing there, and it's quickly 0-2 on Devin Hairston. Brett Adcock has been pounding the strike zone. 28 pitches, 21 of those strikes. 0-2 pitch, just misses. Very close there. That's perhaps a pitch a little too close to take if you're Devin Hairston.
Yesterday, that might have been a strike with yesterday's home umpire, but not today.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging just gets a piece of it. Fouls it off the very, very end of the bat. I think he might have actually made contact with the last inch or two of his bat, but he stays alive.
Good job by Devin Hairston to foul off that tough breaking ball out of Brett Adcock. He really had him on his front foot.
Adcock shrugs his shoulders and delivers. The 1-2 pitch, that one's very high. Fastball misses up. Tried to get him to chase the high cheese, but now that he's changed the eye level, perhaps maybe I'm expecting to come back here with another breaking ball and try and get a cut and miss from Devin Hairston. Here's the delivery from Adcock. 2-2 pitch. Fastball low, runs the count full.
Brett Adcock did exactly what he wanted to there, but just didn't execute as well as he wanted to, going low and away with that fastball after putting one by Hairston's eyes.
Now is run the count full after getting ahead 0-2. Adcock delivers the payoff pitch. That one's fouled off into the screen. Then quite an at-bat here from the freshman Hairston. The bottom three in this Louisville lineup, all freshmen, but they've had solid years. Colby Fitch, Devin Hairston, and Ryan Summers, all freshmen for this squad. And that's not to mention Brendan McKay in the 4-hole. Payoff pitch. That one misses, and a leadoff walk for the Louisville Cardinals. Devin Hairston does have average to above average speed, only 2 of 3 in stolen base attempts in the year, but the Wolverines will have to keep an eye on him. Benedetti will hold with him, and Kendall Patrick will step out 10 feet in front of home plate to go over the signs with his infield. Bivens and Cronenworth will have a brief discussion and shade into double play depth. Also discuss who is going to cover second base on a potential steal attempt. Travis Mays is on the edge of that infield grass at third base, looking for a potential bunt here from Ryan Summers, the freshman center fielder and number 9 hitter in this Louisville lineup. He takes a cut at a fastball and fouls it right into the screen. He's down 0-1.
With Ryan Summers only batting .230 on the season, Brett Adcock should look to work the lower half of the strike zone, try to get something on the ground so that way the Michigan infield can turn 2.
Yeah, Summers has only played a part-time role. He has played in 51 games, but only started 28 of them out of the Louisville Cardinals' 60 games. Now we'll see a throw over to first base. That looked like it was Adcock's number 1 move. His pretty quick move over to try and get Hairston at first base, but he had a very short lead and was able to get back in standing up. Adcock takes a look in, now checks Hairston at first, delivers home with the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. A nice breaking ball there. He's had a pretty consistent breaking ball here in the early going.
He has. It's been breaking around 3 to 7, 3 to 8, not quite up and down as we saw yesterday from Matt Ogden, but still effective nonetheless.
0-2 pitch. Fouled off straight back onto the roof of the press box here. We're perched down the first base side. We're in the press box to the very right. So about 30 feet off center from directly behind home plate. Down the first base side, that's where the Michigan Wolverines are in the home first base dugout. Louisville Cardinals down the third base line. Brett Adcock checks the runner, now delivers 0-2. That one's ripped right at the third baseman. First throw to second, and at the second, the relay throw is not in time. So the Wolverines get the first out at second base. They get the lead runner Hairston. Nice play by Travis Mazes.
I don't really know what happened on the throw with Cronenworth on the relay to Benedetti, just because it looked like he had enough time, and it didn't look like Hairston was sliding in particularly hard. So I don't know if maybe his footing was wrong and that forced him to drop his elbow and throw from a different angle, but the throw pulled off Benedetti from the bag. And that really hurts Brett Adcock, who would have liked to get 2.
Yeah, he induces a hard-hit ground ball, exactly what he wanted in that situation, but Cronenworth unable to turn the double play, and it would have been a close play. Summers does have good speed, and I'm not sure if the throw was going to be in time even if it was on line. It would have been a very close play, but with it offline, it really left no doubt. First pitch, well, they'll get to try it again. They get the second at first, now relay to first, and they get the double play. So after messing it up one time, they get another chance there, and an ending double play for the Wolverines. Still no score from Jim Patterson Stadium. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Wolverines 0, Cardinals 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Dalton Pataki on the call.
5-4-3 for those of you scoring at home. Mazes to Cronenworth to Benedetti. And what are the odds of that happening? They get to try it just one more time, and this time they get it down.
Yeah, it was pretty much a duplicate play of what we saw just moments ago, as both lined very easy plays for Travis Mazes. He was playing a little further in against Whitting, as Whitting is a bunt possibility, but just easy plays, and both times he gets it over to Cronenworth. First time Cronenworth isn't able to make the play. Second time he is. And the Wolverines able to record 3 outs when it looked like Hairston might have something going against Adcock. He had a really long, drawn-out at-bat and was able to draw a walk after falling behind 0-2. But then the fielder's choice, followed by the double play, gets the Wolverines out of the inning.
Great job by Adcock to keep focused when, as a pitcher, it does get on you when your defense doesn't make the plays that you expect them to make, but credit Adcock for staying focused, sticking to the game plan, and getting another hard-hit ground ball to induce a double play.
Now the Wolverines will get another chance to face Brendan McKay. They had a big opportunity last inning. Runners at second, third, only one out, but strikeouts from Kevin White looking and Johnny Slater swinging ended the inning, and now it's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters for the Wolverines. Kendall Patrick, the star of yesterday's game, followed by Jacob Cronenworth and Jake Bivens. Kendall Patrick, Dalton, what do you have about Patrick's day yesterday?
Kendall Patrick had a day to remember. He was 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and 2 home runs. He was the powerhouse for the Michigan offense yesterday.
Takes the first pitch high and outside.
With the speed that McKay can throw it and the wind still blowing out to left, I'm sure that Kendall Patrick has been thinking, there's no reason I can't do what I did yesterday today.
Yeah, just trying to make some solid contact on the ball, get a base hit, and reach base against Brendan McKay as the freshman lefty deals a curveball in there for a strike. Levels the count at 1-1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. No score from Jim Patterson Stadium. The 1-1 pitch. A called strike, an easy 89-mile-an-hour fastball there. As we mentioned earlier, Brendan McKay with such a smooth delivery for a young left-hander. And once again, Louisville Cardinals fans will start their clapping as they try and get another strikeout here. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Kendall Patrick did not like that one, and you kind of got to favor him on that one. That looked like it was well high and inside, but home plate umpire Greg Charles goes up with the right hand, and that's already the third strikeout of the day for Brendan McKay.
Yeah, it looked like that ball came in around the black lettering on the Michigan jersey, which is just slightly above the belt line. I thought it was high.
Nonetheless, Jacob Cronenworth will step in and foul it well down the third base line and well out of play. That will get past those bleachers down the third base line. A sellout crowd here today. All the fans have made their way back to their seats, and there's fans lining the railings down both the first base and the third base line. The 0-1 pitch to Cronenworth is a called strike. Fastball hits low and away right at the knees. Attendance figure expected to be well over 5,000 here at Jim Patterson Stadium. Cardinals fans showing up in force to support their team in a home regional. The 0-2 pitch, well outside. 1-2 on Jacob Cronenworth. 0 for 1 on the day. Ground out to the third baseman, Lucas, his first time up.
Cronenworth looking to continue what he did yesterday, going 2 for 4 with an RBI.
Cronenworth, the most outstanding player of the Big Ten tournament. Got it done on both sides of the ball as a pitcher and at the batter's box. He'll ground one to the second baseman. An easy play there for Whitting as he fields it, flips it over to Rosenbaum at first, and they get Cronenworth by about 3 to 4 steps. Just hit hard, but right on the ground at the shortstop Whitting, the second baseman Whitting. Coming in to the batter's box is the shortstop for Michigan, Jake Bivens, 0 for 1 on the day. Here comes the first pitch. Check swing. Just a little bit too high. Draws some jeers from the Louisville crowd. They are hanging on every pitch here. You can tell they are definitely expecting big things out of their Louisville Cardinals baseball team.
It's a fun atmosphere to be in.
Indeed it is. The 1-0 pitch. That one misses low and outside. And once again, the jeers growing from this Louisville crowd. Just a few Michigan fans here and there. They're mostly stationed behind the first base dugout. There's a called strike on Jake Bivens. Fastball in there at 88. Now we've seen McKay mixing up his speeds. He hasn't just gone 100% on his fastball. We've seen everything from 87 to 93 on that fastball. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's popped high in the air to left field. It looks like it will stay playable. It will be in foul territory, but Solak, the left fielder, will make the catch. And that's the end of the inning for the Wolverines. They go quietly after threatening in the second. We head to the top of the fourth inning. You listen to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman and Dalton Pataki on the call.
Bivens just not swinging the bat well right now. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. He did draw a walk, though, but if the Michigan Wolverines want to make a deep run into this tournament, they've got to start getting more production out of Jake Bivens.
Yeah, Jake Bivens, the freshman sensation. He wasn't expected to do so much for the Wolverines, but after Travis Mazis, last year's shortstop and second baseman, got hurt, they brought Jake Bivens into the lineup as shortstop, and he just played too well that they couldn't take him out even when Travis Mazis came back. Travis Mazis has filled in great at that third base spot, and the Wolverines basically have 3 middle infielders, so in Cronenworth, Bivens, and Mazis. So that's always an advantage defensively when you can have 3 above-average fielders. That's where they're stationed right now doing their warm-up tosses. And Jake Bivens did have quite a hot streak in the end of the regular season. Got his hit streak up to about 14 games, but he's been in a little bit of a cold stretch as of late. He moved up into that number 2 spot and really hitting well, hit over 500 in that 14-game hitting streak. But he has been quiet as of late, still looking for his first hit in the NCAA tournament. He was the last out of last inning, so the Wolverines will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. But first, it's the Louisville Cardinals' turn to face Brett Adcock.
Due up for the Louisville Cardinals, Solak, Ray, McKay. Righty, lefty, lefty, going against the lefty Brett Adcock. Adcock looking to make quick work again of this middle of the lineup. He did all right with them the first time through. McKay did get that single that turned into a 2 bases on the Johnny Slater fielding error, but Brett Adcock now, after getting that double play turned, is relying on his defense. First pitch to Solak. Changeup misses low and outside. 1-0 count.
Travis Mazis perched on the edge of the infield grass, watching for a potential bunt from Nick Solak here.
Adcock winds, delivers. Changeup again, misses outside and away. Wind blowing about the same speed, about 15 miles an hour. Now more from right straight across to left. The 2-0. Fastball misses outside again. Now, Adcock would really hate to put Solak on base because 18 for 23 on stolen bases this year. You don't want traffic on the base paths when a team like Louisville can run. Adcock the 3-0. Fastball that looked like it grabbed the outer half of the plate. I'm not even talking on the outer black, the outer half of the plate, but Greg Charles has a different view and calls it a ball. That's ball 4. That'll put Solak on first. And now Corey Ray, the right fielder, up to the plate.
Ray 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to Kevin White in left field his first time up. That was in the first inning.
Left-hander, 5'11", 185, out of Chicago, Illinois.
Vendetti holding with Solak at first base. He is a base-stealing threat.
Adcock sets, looks at Solak. Delivers. Fouled off down the first base line was the first pitch to Ray. Fastball clocked at 93. Couldn't quite catch up to it.
Yeah, it's some of the hardest we've seen Adcock throw, especially this early in a ball game. But he knows it's a big situation. Doesn't want 2 runners on base when he has to face Brendan McKay.
But Adcock sets. Move over to first. Solak back easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Solak really doesn't have that large of a lead at first base given his speed, but that could be a product of Adcock being a left-hander. Adcock throws over again to Solak. Solak back in easy.
And Adcock hasn't quite furnished that number 1 move yet. It still looks like it's been all the number 2s. It's a really slow move over to first base, but then fires it over to Carmen Benedetti.
Adcock checks Solak. A move again to Solak, and the fans of Louisville, they just want baseball to resume here. Throwing a few boos down onto the sophomore out of Bay City, Michigan. Adcock sets. Checks Solak. Goes over a 4th time. And the lead for Solak isn't getting any larger, but Brett Adcock realizes that Nick Solak can run, so he's keeping a close eye on there over at first. The 0-1. Pitches out, toss down to second base. And the toss from Kendall Patrick to Jake Bivens is in time, and Solak is caught stealing. Delivers. Pops him up. Kevin White drifts under the lazy fly ball to slightly deep left field. No concern, though. 2 outs for Brett Adcock and the Michigan Wolverines. That brings up the pitcher, the left-hander, Brendan McKay.
And Brendan McKay got the best of the duel of the pitchers the first time up. Just ripped the single out to right field, and then Johnny Slater